using one of 4 different hashtags.
And so overall, what did your analysis find regarding negative hashtags? And did you perform an analysis of the negative hashtags from April 2020 until January 2022?
Yes, I did.
And what was the result of that?
There were over another million, so 2.38 million, I think.
And how did you determine that the tweets were negative about Ms. Heard?
Well, I hadn't been asked that until later on in this, but I didn't think that would be in controversy. I mean, some of these hashtags are pretty rude, and it would really surprise me that anyone would think that they wouldn't be negative towards Ms. Heard. But when I was asked about it later, I actually took a random sampling and looked at them and could not find any that were not negative towards Ms. Heard.
And what was the random sampling that you used?
I did 2 of them. They were 1,000 each.
And how did you determine which 1,000 tweets to use to review in each search?
I wrote a program that truly selected them at random.
And in your experience, is 2,000 tweets
wrote a program?
If they're chosen at random in this universe, yes.
Okay. We back at it.
In addition to the 4 hashtags for Ms. Heard, did you review any other? Did you look at any other hashtags?
I did.
And what type of hashtags did you look for?
Ooh,
I looked
at
at what I found to be 6 hashtags
confident.
that would be negative towards Mr. Depp.
Okay, but Michelle, could you put up
Look at her
demonstrative
hair.
1,
Amber Heard. Look at Amber's
which is
hair.
the 5th page of Mr.
Hit the like button on the
Mr.
way in.
Schnell's,
Bossmack top soil.
expert designation. Mr. Schnell, did you create this chart?
I did.
And what data is this chart based on?
So this is based on the search API from Twitter, and it rolls up the number of tweets with the various hashtags by month of these 2 years. 3 years.
Your Honor, I'd like to make this a demonstrative Schnell demonstrative 1, or do you want it to be
If I could get it one of the numbers, since it's going to be part of the record, just.
Okay. Can we call it Schnell demonstrative 1, and then I will give you a number?
Well, the last number I have is 1837. I don't know.
Do we know if that's the last? Can we make it? How about we make it 1900? That way, it's not. Can we just make it 1900?
That's perfect.
Okay.
All right, 1900 it is. Any objections to demonstrative?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can publish that.
And is this the chart you made, Mr. Schnell?
It is.
Okay. And at the top here, there are hashtags that are in yellow. You see that?
I did.
7 the gentleman. What's
If we go all the
good?
way to the right. Well, first let's scroll over to the left here. I apologize. You see, in 2020, there's the months of June and July.
I do.
Okay. And what are these columns? First, tell the jury what they represent.
So each of these is the number of tweets with the hashtags, with the corresponding hashtag during that month.
Okay. And if we look at the first one in yellow, you see that first hashtag, the 4th one over?
I do.
And are there any, what does it show from 2018 to July of 2020?
There were none.
And then what happens in August of 2020?
Well, there's a remarkable jump from July to August of 2020. It goes from 0 to 13,878.
And if we scroll to the right, the last 3 hashtags, which are highlighted, shows the difference between June and July. What did your analysis show?
Well, you can see that June is about at its steady state. In July, there's also a remarkable jump.
And that's for all 3 of those hashtags?
That's correct.
Okay. And the hashtags, if the hashtags that are in blue are the ones related to Mr. Depp, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, by the way, what is your understanding of when the last alleged defamatory statement was made by Mr. Depp through Mr. Waldman?
My understanding is that it was the end of June of that year.
Of 2020?
Yes.
Now, looking at the hashtags that are highlighted in blue for Mr. Depp, for the months of November and December of 2018 and January of 2019, what does your analysis show?
Well, I see a remarkable jump in November of 2018.
Joe Blass in the building.
And then it starts to, well, it goes way down in December of 18 and January of 19.
Okay. And do you know when Ms. Heard wrote the op-ed in this matter?
My understanding is that it was December of 2018.
Okay. And if we go to November of 2020 for the hashtags related to Mr. Depp, if you see the difference between October of 2020 and November of 2020, what do you see there?
I also see a large jump from October to November of 2020.
Okay. And if we look at the last hashtag in blue that says Johnny Depp is a wife beater, what does that show what did your analysis find in terms of tweets without those hashtags?
It looks to me that also, I mean, there are none prior to, well, little here and there. There are single-digit ones, but prior to November of 2020, there are basically none, and then it jumps up to over 2,000.
And do you know what happened in November of 2020?
My understanding is that's when the UK trial ended.
Okay, we can take this down. And can you put up demonstrative 2, which will make 1901, which will identify as 1901?
That's fine, 1901. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 1901 can be published.
It's up.
And Mr. Banya, what data
M.
is this
Keller,
chart
what's
based on?
up with it?
Oh, I did the same thing. Mr. Schnell, what data is this chart based on?
This chart is actually based on the data we
got a smart motherfucker on the stand right now.
Until
that's why Amber is confident.
January 2022.
Amber is confident today.
It's just another way of displaying the numbers in graphical form.
She got a
so that
killer
we can
up
see
there.
Peaks and valleys.
And what are the dotted lines?
So if you look at the top, you can see that the dashed lines are the negative hashtags towards Ms. Heard, and the solid ones are the negative hashtags towards Mr. Depp.
And what is being shown here? In
Beautiful.
your analysis, what is shown with the tweets related to Ms. Heard?
Well, you can see that there's a huge spike in February of 2020, which I believe Mr. Waldman just testified that that's when he leaked an audio tape of some kind. There's also a notable, remarkable spike in July of 2020, in November of 2020, and then in March of 2021.
And the spike in February 2020,
Damn. I didn't know they could do this type of
that
shit.
came before the alleged defamatory statements, correct?
Which one?
wow.
The spike in February 2020.
That is correct.
They
And
analyzed
even
the
though
statement.
that spike came in before the alleged defamatory statements, even taking account for that spike, what time period has more negative tweets about Ms. Heard, before or after April 2020?
Right. So even taking into account this really large spike in February of 2020, and you look at from the beginning of 2018 until the beginning of 2022, there are a majority of the negative tweets are between April of 2020 through the beginning of 2022.
Hit the
And
likes on the way
do you
in.
recall at your deposition being asked that a spike in negative hashtags occurring before April 8th, right before April 8th, 2020?
Objection, hearsay.
I would ask about his attorney.
Overruled, good.
I remember questions regarding particular dates, yes.
And what's your understanding as to why there was more negative tweets in April 6th and April 7th than April 8th, 2020?
Objection, no foundation.
Was there more negative tweets on April 6th and April 7th than in April 8th, 2020 as it relates to Ms. Heard?
Right. If you look at the day-by-day counts, which I supplied to Mr. Depp, and you can see that there's a spike that begins on April 6th and goes for a few days. So on April 6th is, to my understanding, before what people are calling the alleged defamatory statement.
And did you look at the tweets for April 6th and April 7th?
I did.
And what did you find?
I found that there are Waldman statements that are the same as on the 8th, on the 6th, and the 7th. The Daily Mail on the 6th, and Vanity Fair on the 7th.
And what terms were being used?
Well, hoax is certainly used in each of them. I think abuse hoax is used in one of them. I don't have it in front of me, but generally speaking, in the 7th, I think it's the same exact terms that are used in the one on the 8th, but the 6th may be slightly different, but it has the word hoax.
Okay. If we can go to the second page of this demonstrative. What's being shown in the second page of this demonstrative?
So this is generally, it's the same data as the first one, but I've removed one hashtag, the Justice for Johnny Depp hashtag, because it kind of overwhelms all the others because there are so many of them. And by removing it, it sort of rescales the graph, and you can see the others much better. And even though they looked really tiny in the previous page, you can see that they're big numbers, over 100,000 and stuff. So this shows, and if you look between the two, you can see that the curves are the same. So it shows like a mathematical correlation between all the hashtags.
So what do you mean by mathematical correlation?
Well, they're correlated. You can see the numbers.
Super clever,
go up
seven
and down
gentlemen.
at
Super
the same
clever.
place.
Super clever.
So I'm understanding the hashtags are essentially all going up and down at the same times?
Correct.
Okay.
Super
Thank
clever.
you. And can we put up demonstrative?
Look at Amber. Oh my gosh, confidence is flooding into a
1902.
bitch.
Yes, thank you.
Confidence is flooding
Objection,
into a bitch.
No, this is demonstrative.
Demonstrative, yes.
Oh,
You can publish
look.
it.
Mr. Schnell, did you create this chart?
I did.
And what does this chart show?
So what I did was I took the data that I supplied to Mr. Depp, which was the original data from April of 2020 through January of 2021, and I searched it for certain key terms, specifically hoax, fake, and fraud. And that's what it's representing. The top part, anyway.
And the top part, if you look at for hoax, fake, and fraud and this is within the negative hashtags or misheard?
Right. This is only searching through the ones that have one of these 4 hashtags in them.
Okay. And if you look at the total, oops, I'm putting that in black. Let's clear that. Oh, you saw the line there. What's the total number of times it was used in the negative tweets, either hoax, fake, or fraud?
81,121.
And did you perform any other searches on the data?
Yes.
And what searches did you perform?
So I also looked in that same data for references to Waldman by itself, or Wald, and then followed by anything followed by Mignon or Minion, depending how you want to pronounce it, sort of a portmanteau of Waldman and filet mignon, I guess, or Minions, and looked for those in the same data.
And in terms of the percentage of the amount of times Waldman or Waldmignon was used in the negative hashtags from April 2020 through, is it January 2021?
The percent?
Yeah, what's the percentage?
Yeah, so I found over 25% of the negative hashtag tweets, or 1 out of every 4 on average, had either Waldman or Waldmignon.
And I see you ran searches for hoax, fake, fraud, rather than abuse hoax in quotes or sexual violence hoax in quotes. Why didn't you run those searches?
Objection, compound.
Overruled.
So so if I had put them in quotes like that, say abuse hoax in quotes, that would require that it show up in exactly that way, with the same spacing and the same order. So if it said something like there was abuse and there was a hoax, it wouldn't get caught. So if I take the quotes out and search for them separately, search for things separately, that'll cover it and make sure that I catch everything.
And based on your analysis of these searches within the negative hashtags, what do the results of these searches mean?
Well, obviously I can't read what's in people's minds, but when I read the disclosure of Mr. Depp's expert, Mr. Banya, he stated that if these terms, in particular the Waldman term,
Objection, hearsay.
He's an expert.
No, overruled.
If these terms had shown up a lot of times in the negative hashtag tweets, then that could show that they were, paraphrasing the impetus of why people tweeted these. So I sort of adopted Mr. Banya's opinion on that and found this large number. So I agree with Mr. Depp's expert that this could show a substantial correlation.
And to what level of confidence do you hold the opinions you just provided to the jury?
To a reasonable degree of scientific certainty.
Thank you, Mr. Schnell. I have no further
All
questions.
right, cross-examination.
Amber tried to bring in some killers.
Sir, this is the first time that you've testified as an expert as in the field of statistical and forensic analysis of social media, isn't it?
I've consulted on litigation for it, but it never got to testimony. That's correct.
This is your first testimony.
Testimony, yes.
And this is
breaking
and you've never
ground.
been involved in a defamation case before.
That's correct.
Okay. And you're being compensated for your time here today and the work you did, correct?
Berkeley Research Group is being compensated, yes.
At $600 an hour.
That's what they're getting paid.
Right. And you're aware that Mr. Depp is being sued based on allegedly defamatory statements. What are the dates of those statements?
My understanding is there was something around April 8th, I believe April 27th and June 24th, somewhere in the end of June.
Okay. And where do you understand those statements to have resided?
In the public media.
In any particular article or?
I didn't consider that.
All right. So you're not offering an opinion on how widely the articles that contain those statements were read?
That's correct.
And you're not offering an opinion as to how many people actually saw the language that's been attributed to Mr. Waldman?
Only a minimum number of people who could have seen it based on the tweets that referenced him.
Okay. And you don't know even where those references appear in the articles?
I'm not sure what you mean.
There are statements by Mr. Waldman that appear in articles. Do you understand that?
I do.
Do you know in what portion of the articles the statements appear?
I've looked at the articles, and from that, I've seen where they appear.
And where, in general, do they appear? In the middle, the end? What's your sense?
That I'm not sure of. I mean, the ones I looked at on the 6th and 7th, I think they were towards the top.
All right. So you testified that you reviewed a number of hashtags that you deemed were negative towards Ms. Heard. That's right?
Yes.
Yeah. And the four you picked, at least the negative ones, Justice for Johnny Depp, that's from one of them, right?
That's right.
Amber Heard is an abuser. That's one of them.
That is one of them.
We just don't like you, Amber. That's one of them.
That is one of them.
And the last one was Amber Turd, right?
That is another one.
Okay.
What's happening?
These four hashtags you identified and searched for, you don't believe they have any connection, or you testified that you have no connection to these three Waldman statements. The hashtags aren't connected to Waldman, right?
Well, I did an additional analysis that did show how many of those had Waldman connected to them, and I found that 1 out of 4 of them did.
Right. But when you were deposed, you were asked whether these were related, these particular hashtags were related to any of the Waldman statements, and you said no at that time.
I said more than that. I said I didn't know, and then I said I'm basing I'm looking at Mr. Banya's opinion where he says they would be if they were in large number, and I'm adopting his opinion and agreeing with him that they must be connected.
So you're adopting an opinion that hasn't been rendered in this case yet by anybody but you?
Well, I know that Mr. Banya
has testified.
Okay, what I'm saying is I know that Mr. Banya's disclosure says that he is expected to come to that opinion.
All right. But the only person who's ever expressed this opinion today in this courtroom is you, correct?
I wouldn't know. I haven't watched everything. I've watched a bit.
So
but
you're adopting your own opinion?
No, I'm adopting the opinion that I read in Mr. Banya's disclosure.
Right. And that's not the opinion you had during your deposition?
Tone is changing.
I think I did make reference in my
tone is
deposition
changing
to,
on it.
What Mr. Banya said, and that I agreed with it.
All right. And you indicated in deposition you didn't take into account statements made in the media, correct?
Made in what? I couldn't hear.
You said you did not take into account in your analysis statements made in the media.
Yes, in the analysis where I gathered data and decided which data to gather, I did not take into account statements in the media.
All right. So you looked at data, you produced charts, you did analysis relating to the data, but you had no reason at the time you did this to consider any particular statements. Isn't that true?
That's true. I think that's an appropriate scientific methodology to not to first gather as much data as possible and then drill down on the data.
All right. And the Twitter data you collected shows that the 4 hashtags you identified were in existence before Mr. Waldman made the first statement in April 2020, right?
That's correct.
Right.
In very small number.
Right. But justice for Johnny Depp has been around since 2013, correct?
That sounds correct.
Yeah. Amber Heard is an abuser, and Amber Turd first appeared in 2016, correct?
I don't recall, actually.
Right. Do you recall if there was any portion
quoting
of
hashtags in court? I never thought
any reference to Amber Turd?
Amber Turd being said in court. Amber Turd.
People can form a negative view of Ms.
Amber
Heard without
Turd.
reading Mr. Waldman's statements, correct?
People can form a negative opinion of
Amber
anyone without
Turd.
reading anything. That's correct.
And you didn't consider whether there was negative publicity around Ms. Heard other than the Waldman statements?
Well, what I did was to report on correlation with these hashtags and certain search terms in particular. I wasn't trying to read anyone's mind as to why they used them.
All right. You didn't form any opinion that of the million plus tweets that you looked at were connected in some way to Mr. Waldman's statements?
I did eventually, yes.
You did eventually after you read somebody else's report relative to testimony that hasn't been given here?
Well, I did it before my deposition.
All right. You have a demonstrative that counsel played for you. Can we put up plaintiff's 1901 again? This is yours, right?
Correct.
Yeah. The biggest spikes, by far the biggest spikes here, are attributable to what hashtag?
Justice for
Hit
Johnny
the
Depp
like
hashtag.
button on the way in.
And there are spikes that existed considerably before Mr. Waldman's statement. You were asked about that by counsel?
One of them did. That was the date that Mr. Waldman leaked the audio tape.
The biggest spike was before the statements.
Right, the date he leaked the audio.
And then there were many statements that, or there are many hashtags, or uses of the hashtag, that follow the statements.
You'll have to be more specific.
Well, so you looked at 1.2 million of these hashtags, right?
Right.
In your chart, didn't 980,000 of these plus belong to Justice for Johnny Depp?
That sounds about right. You'd have to show me, but I'll take your word for it.
All right. But the vast majority of them were Justice for Johnny Depp.
A majority of them were.
Well, it wasn't the majority so large that you had to draw another chart?
The reason for drawing another chart is because the numbers were high at particular points, so you wouldn't be able to see the other hashtags.
Right. Literally, this is your chart, and all of the other activity at the bottom you can barely see in comparison to the hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp.
Right. As I testified, you can barely see them because of the spikes in the Justice for Johnny Depp hashtag, but when you look at the other chart, you can see that those others are still very large numbers.
Justice for Johnny Depp.
You're not offering any opinion as to what caused these spikes.
That's correct.
Right. So you're not opining as to why these spikes are there.
I'm only talking about correlation.
Right. You're talking about a mathematical connection.
That's right.
Right. And you don't purport to be in anybody's head such that you know why they did a particular post with a particular hashtag.
That's correct.
All right. There's a second spike that appears to be in July of 2020.
Yes, the pointer was pointing to a different one, but yes.
Yeah. Were you aware there was a trial in the UK in 2020?
I'm aware.
And in July?
You're saying it was in July?
No, but as of the time of that spike, there was publicity around a trial, correct?
I don't know how much publicity there was. I know the trial was going on then.
All right. There are a number of things called out in your chart relative to particular dates, December 17th, February 11th, February 14th. You see all those?
I do.
And your chart makes absolutely no reference to and does not identify the dates of any of the Waldman statements, does it, sir?
No, it doesn't call those out, if that's what you're asking.
It calls out a whole bunch of other dates, but nothing relative to the Waldman statements.
Correct.
All right. All right. At some point, you ran searches for additional search terms: hoax, fraud. I think you said fake. And then
I like
you
this.
don't know why those terms
I like this analysis.
do you?
I'm not sure what you mean by that question.
I like this guy on the
Are you asking me?
stand. I like what he does
You
for a
could not
living.
perform a scientific analysis of the reason why those terms appeared in the tweets you were looking at.
Right. I could only show mathematical correlation.
Right. You could show a correlation, but you don't have any idea why they're there.
I can't get into people's heads.
Right. And just because the tweet contains one of the terms does not mean the tweet was in some way prompted by Mr. Waldman, right?
Well, there are a few things I searched for. The ones you just mentioned, and then the Waldman and Waldman-Yon terms. So, it's not that big a stretch to say that it's related to Mr. Waldman if it's his name and Waldman-Yon or Minion.
Wait a minute. Is the new standard it's not that big a stretch?
No.
Or
I'm trying to speak.
Scientific certainty, right?
Yes.
All right. So you're not suggesting that you know why Mr. Waldman's name appeared in any of these tweets?
Well, if you look at the tweets that have Waldman-Yon, and I looked at a large sample of them.
A large sample was 2,000 out of 1.2 million.
No, I looked at more than that of these. But that's another thing that I wouldn't expect to be in controversy. when people are saying that they're part of the Walled Minions or things like that, I would expect everybody to agree without arguing that it has to do with Mr. Waldman.
And nobody asked whether it had to do with Mr. Waldman. I'm wondering, how do you know that it had anything to do with Mr. Waldman's statements?
But I was under the impression, I was informed that nobody really knew who Mr. Waldman was before all of this, so I wouldn't expect it to be anything else. I didn't think it was in controversy.
It wasn't in controversy whether everyone knew who Mr. Waldman was? Is that your testimony?
No, I'm saying it wasn't in controversy that that if somebody was suddenly talking about him, that it had to do with this case.
All right, but again, it's not, did it have to do with this case? It's, did it have to do with the allegedly defamatory statements? You have no idea, do you, sir?
I can't get into anyone's mind. I can only talk about the science of it.
Right. And so you identified all of these hashtags as negative towards Miss Heard, right?
Right.
Justice for Johnny Depp is not negative towards Miss Heard, is it?
No, but the tweets.
She shitted in his bed because she's an evil ass bitch.
Itself,
and that was her first thought.
The hashtag that predominates through your analysis.
And she thought that shit was funny too, though. Like
negative towards Miss
That's
Heard.
the other part of that.
I'm not talking.
Her and another motherfucker thought it was funny.
About the tweets that contain that hashtag.
But the hashtag itself is not negative.
That's not part of my opinion, one way or the other.
Do you have an opinion as to whether justice for Johnny Depp is a good thing?
That's not part of my assignment.
Okay. But you'll agree with me justice in general is a good thing?
Big fan of justice.
All right. Me too. No further questions.
All right, redirect. Okay, yes, sir.
Mr. Schnell, you reviewed a large sampling of tweets of justice for Johnny Depp, correct?
I did.
And the tweets that had the hashtag justice for Johnny Depp, how many of them were negative toward Miss Heard?
All of them.
Okay. And what percentage of the tweets with negative hashtags between April 2020 and January 31st, 2021 contain the terms Waldman or Waldman-Yon?
Overruled, I'll out.
Over 25%. 1 out of 4.
And in your analysis, how far in time do the tweets containing the terms Waldman or Waldman-Yon go? Like how far to now?
Well, beyond the scope of cross?
He was asking about.
Overruled.
So I think I disclosed at my deposition that I looked further into 2022 and found that it continued to go on. Didn't see any end to it at all.
And based on your analysis, again, what period of time had more negative tweets against Ms. Heard, before or after April 2020?
It was clearly double as many from April to 2021.
And that's even including the
I
February
love this
2020
analysis.
spike, correct?
That's right. So and that happened before April, obviously. So even if you put that in there, it's still a lot more after
Damn,
April.
Rory,
What's
up with it? I hope I said that right.
Months in that time period. I think there are 20 or 15 months in that time period.
Shout out Broadside. I forgot to holler you out. Shout you out. Shout out
And based on your
Broadside.
analysis, what, if any, end do you see to the negative tweets toward Ms. Heard?
Objection, no foundation.
Based on his analysis up until the time?
I'll sustain the objections.
Okay. Did you see any, based on your analysis, did you, at the end of the time of your analysis, what was happening with the negative tweets toward Ms. Heard?
To continue to go on.
Okay. Mr. Schnell, after your cross-examination, have any of your opinions in this matter changed?
No, they've not.
Thank you. Nothing.
All right. All right, so you can have a seat in the courtroom or you're free to go. Okay, sir? Thank you. All right, your next witness? Okay, sure.
I like that analysis. I was feeling that. I didn't know they could get up into you like that and go through Twitter and look at the hashtags. You know, the Bossmack topsoil be using them hashtags, man. I was pleasing to see how they did that. They revealed. This trial has revealed so much game on many levels. Niggas need to tap in, man. This trial this trial has revealed a lot of game, man, that you could soak and take into your body and see, man. Like I'm trying to tell you, man, hey, it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm noticing. Niggas can learn. I didn't know they going, hey. Get the likes up when you come in, hit the like. You know, we need all of that. We need all of that. Oh, man, this is, hey, man. Hey, man. It's pretty dope. You know, it's ups and downs in this, man. You know what I'm saying? Some of these people are more exciting than others, you know. But, you know, overall, it's just a good vibe, man. Seeing the analysis, man. I fuck with this analysis, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let a nigga know where you're coming from. Let me check in. Let me know what city you're tapping in from, man. You know what I'm talking about? And hey, let me know if you fucking with that analysis, man. If you thought that analysis, you thought that statistical analysis brought some good game to the table, put up a 1. If you thought that statistical analysis was some bullshit, put up a 2. You know what I'm saying? I kind of liked it. That statistical analysis right there, man. I can't lie. Y'all fuck with the Bossmack Topsoil. Tell your people to subscribe. Tell a friend. Hit the like button. Tell a friend that you fuck with Bossmack Topsoil. Tell them to subscribe, man. We be going live, man. I feel you, man. I feel you, 7 gentlemen. I feel you on that 1. The statistical analysis is cold, bro. I didn't even know they could do that. I knew they could do that, but I didn't know they could do that. You know what I'm saying? You know. I don't know. I don't think public opinion out in the air, like people talking like out in the street, public opinion. I don't know if that matters as much as the shit that I be seeing online, man. When motherfuckers be online, man, I think the public opinion online is more profound. It's more profound. You know what I'm talking about? The public opinion online is more profound. You know, it just hit different. It hit different. Hit the like on the way in. Hit the like on the way in, man. Hit the like on the way in. They huddling up with the judge right now. They trying to make sure they huddling up with the judge right now. You know what I'm talking about? They huddling up. Camille is up there, man. I want to hear more from Camille, man. I miss Camille, man. I'm going to have to make Camille do a Camille sale at Bossmack Streetwear to acknowledge the greatness of Camille out here with the cross-examination, man, for real. Right now, I want to, this don't have nothing to do with nothing, but we want to shout out ASAP Rocky and Rihanna. They had a little son today. Shout out to ASAP Rocky and Rihanna had a little son today, man. To me, that cement the greatness. Oh, look at baby. Oh, wait, let me. Oh, shit. The greatness of ASAP Rocky is apparent. Brought a son to the table. I think that's brought a young king. Shout out Camille, man. My favorite lawyer bitch in the world right now, man. They playing something?
Thank you, Your Honor. We will be calling Michelle Mulrooney by deposition designation and restart.
Okay. Just give some moment.
They're doing a deposition, another deposition. I like the live shit better, man. I like the live shit better than the depositions, man. Put up a 1 if you like the live shit better. Put up a 2 if you fuck with the depositions more. Put up a 1 if you like the live shit better. Put up a 2 if you fuck with the depositions. The Bossmack fuck with the live shit.
You just want to spell the last name for me?
It's MULROONEY. Rooney.
All right. Okay.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Michelle Mulrooney.
Friendly or hostile?
Los Angeles, California, 90067.
Is it a friendly bitch or a hostile bitch?
What is your occupation?
I'm a partner at Venable LLP, an attorney practice.
I see you with the one. I like the live shit better my damn self.
Brief description of your educational background and work history.
Okay, I attended USC and received my undergraduate degree in 1982. And then I again attended USC and received my law degree in 1985. I then worked for Gibson, Dunn and Crutcher until 1991.
Seven a gentleman. I see you with the
And
one.
then I worked
I like
for
the
an
live
entertainment
shit.
law firm that was originally called Armstrong Hirsch. When I joined it, then later morphed into several names. And then in 2011, I joined Venable LLP as a partner.
Thank you.
He's
what
a
are
partner.
your areas of practice and expertise?
I'm head of the estate planning, the West Coast estate planning group for Venable.
Estate planning.
Does that estate planning involve any aspect of marital estate planning, such as things like prenups and postnups, prenuptials, postnuptials?
Yes, we frequently do prenups, cohabitation, and postnup agreements for our clients.
Would you please briefly describe what a prenuptial and a postnuptial is?
A prenuptial agreement is where spouses contract on the economics of their marriage before they are married, and they discuss things as the nature, and they contract the things as the nature of the property, community separate, etc., and also things like spousal support. And in a postnup, the clients do that after they're married. They contract on the same issues.
Do you regularly represent actors?
Yes.
And ask you very narrowly, did there come a time when Amber Heard contacted you for representation respecting a prenup or a postnup agreement?
At some point, I was contacted about an Amber Heard prenup.
Ms. Mulroney, I'm going to show you what has been marked as exhibit number 3, and it's an email from you to a Dana Lowry. Do you know who Dana Lowry is?
Yes.
And could you please tell us who Dana Lowry is?
She's a family law attorney practicing in Los Angeles.
And this is dated Monday, February 2, 2015, and says, I look forward to working with you. Please send me, this is from you, please send me the bullet points for the economics of the deal. When you are back in the office tomorrow, I will have Amber's business manager get her financial information to me ASAP. I also like to exchange 2 years of tax returns, but not attach them. Is this your general practice? Let me know. Think. Who did Dana Lowry represent?
Johnny Depp.
I take it Amber in the actual document is Amber Heard. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And if I just direct your attention to the top of the email where it says February, get control. February 2, 2015. What, if anything, does this do to refresh your recollection on when approximately you were contacted about representing Amber Heard in connection with the prenup?
It makes the approximate date more clear to me.
Okay. And based on this, when approximately were you contacted to represent Amber Heard in connection with the prenup or postnup?
the early part of February, the late part of January, or the early part of February 2015.
Hit the likes on the way in.
I ask you to take a look at what has been marked as exhibit number 4. And it is an email from you to Dana Lowry, which is Mr. Depp's counsel, correct?
During this time period, correct.
And it's dated Tuesday, February 3. And I'm going to scroll down first so we get the earliest part of it. And the first part of it is an email from Dana Lowry to you, dated February 3rd at 10:13, and says J/A deal points. Do you know what J/A means? I'm going to take you, first of all, to the bottom part, which is the J/deal points. Do you have an understanding of what J/A means?
Hit the like on the way in.
I believe it means Johnny/Amber deal points.
Absent a prenuptial agreement or a postnuptial agreement, is California what we call a common law property state?
No,
What is it?
it's a community property state.
Okay.
She
and what
know
does
that.
mean?
She know that.
Generally means that all earnings after the date of marriage are
Ooh,
each party has an undivided 50% interest
community.
in those earnings.
Oh,
Yes.
What was your understanding of the purpose of the confidentiality agreement?
It's very standard when you're doing a prenuptial agreement or a postnuptial agreement, when either party is disclosing their assets, that they ask for a confidentiality agreement.
You respond on February 17, Dana, I have forwarded to Amber. She is filming a movie, but hope to connect with her by the end of the week. I will keep trying to move forward. I'm asking you what you meant by I will keep trying to move forward.
I assume I meant that we're trying to get a postnuptial agreement signed between the parties.
hit the like button on the way in. Salute.
Show you what has been marked as exhibit number 7. And I'm going to start again with going down to show you where the stream is here. And it says, on February 17, that's the same email we've seen a couple times now, where she's attaching the confidentiality agreement, telling you she'll have a draft post-nup agreement, but she's getting the signed confidentiality agreement first. And then I'm going to direct your attention to the very top part, and that is Wednesday, February 18. And it's from you to Dana Lowry, and it says, Amber is sending the signed confidentiality agreement to me. I assume I will receive all the underlying financials and a list of anticipated future revenue streams and documentation pertaining thereto. What did you mean by underlying financials and a list of anticipated future revenue streams and documentation pertaining thereto?
I mean, this is typical for an actor. They have profit participations, back ends. I wanted to have a list of what his future revenue would be. He might have had movies booked that he would render services after marriage. I just wanted to see the pro forma.
What did you mean by back ends?
Back end is either profit participations or royalties. Sometimes it's box office bonuses. You just have to look at the underlying agreement on each movie, TV show, etc., to track what the revenue will be from each project.
And why is that relevant?
I want to know what they're going to make during the marriage. I want to know the income during the marriage.
Wow.
And those are all components of what they make during the
Wow.
Correct.
marriage.
Woo.
said, I can't really comment on the document until I get this information.
If I gotta sit down with a bitch like that, hell no, I ain't no married bitch.
The post
Hell
agreement
no.
I anticipated she would send.
Even going to see a bitch that look like that.
When you were sent the confidentiality agreement for Amber Heard to sign, and when you indicated
if I gotta talk to a bitch like that,
we're
we not getting married. Fuck that.
The signed confidentiality agreement.
The next day.
What if any
Hit the lights on the way in.
did you receive from Mr. Depp in connection with the post-nup agreement?
I received one telephone call.
And whom did you receive that telephone call from?
Mr. Depp.
Please describe the telephone call from Mr. Depp.
My recollection is that he was very mean.
Oh, wow,
that
bitch.
he
Come
called
on.
me names,
Come on,
and
bitch.
that he fired me.
He fired you up,
When
bitch.
you say that he was very mean, what did you mean?
He was mean.
Well, my only exact recollection is he called me a bitch.
Facts. Good. That's what you deserved it, bitch. Yes.
Leaving.
What many
Yes.
observations did you make
He called me
during
a
the
bitch.
telephone call from Mr. Depp, during which time he called you a bitch?
Yes.
I
Far
Why did you think that?
Yes.
He was slurring his words, and his speech pattern was similar to my children's speech pattern when they were under him. I was
Bitch.
just extremely rattled by the call.
Bitch.
You know, I was on the
How
phone
you
for
get
a very
rattled,
short
bitch?
time with
Your
the
job
representative of my
is
counsel,
shitty.
and
You got a shitty job
wanna be
dividing
rude
up
and hang
paper,
up, but
trying to
I
tell
told him I had to
motherfuckers,
hang up.
bitch.
Like after 2 or 3 minutes after I realized what was happening, it took me very off guard, and that's all I remember is that
Man.
it really shook me up.
Hit the like
After
button
that
on the
phone
way
call,
in.
did you perform any further services for Ms. Heard in connection with the postnuptial agreement?
No,
Do you recall ever seeing a postnuptial draft agreement?
no.
Man, fuck this bitch right here, bro.
Has either Ms. Heard or Mr. Depp
Man, fuck this
contacted
bitch
you
right
at
here,
any
bro.
time after the call
Fuck this bitch.
with Mr. Depp respecting pursuing a postnuptial agreement?
No.
Who, if anyone, was paying your legal services?
I don't recall.
Bitch, what you mean you don't recall? What? How you don't know where the money
Was
came
it your
from?
understanding that Mr. Depp had the authority to fire you?
No.
Did you tell him that?
I don't recall.
And isn't it true that he wouldn't have had the authority to fire you even if he were paying for your legal services? True?
True.
What, if any, communications did you have with Dana Lowy about your conversation with Mr. Depp after the conversation with Mr. Depp?
I don't recall specifically.
This bitch is
What do you
untrustworthy.
recall generally, if anything?
This bitch.
I do recall that I told her that I was no longer representing him. But I don't know if I did that in writing. Somehow she knew.
But and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you testified that Mr. Depp did not have the authority to fire you, correct?
Correct.
Ms. Mulrooney, when did your attorney-client relationship with Ms. Heard relating to a potential postnuptial agreement terminate?
Shortly after that phone call.
When you say shortly after that phone call, can you give us a time frame of how long it was after the phone call?
Within a few days, could be one.
He didn't have the power to fire you, correct?
Correct.
Do you have any recollection of ever receiving any more communications from
Hit the like
Daniel
button.
Lowry
Show me love, nigga.
furthering the postnuptial agreement after Johnny Depp called you and told you he was firing you on behalf of Amber and called you names?
No substantive. I recall that there was no more substantive conversations.
Is there any question in your mind that it was Mr. Depp who called you?
No.
All right. Yes, ma'am, your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor, we'd like to call the Disney corporate representative.
All right.
Oh, shit. They did good today, bro. Amber. Now you gonna talk shit about how Johnny was late as fuck to the filming.
And your business address for the record.
Tina Newman, Walt Disney Studios Motion Picture Production, live action, 500 South Buena Vista Street, Burbank, California, 91521.
And what is your current occupation?
I'm a production executive.
And what is your job title?
That is my title, production executive. I work in the live action feature division for Disney.
Is it your understanding you're testifying on behalf of Walt Disney Motion Pictures Group?
Yes.
Were you involved in the gathering of the documents responsive to the documents subpoenaed to Disney?
Yes, I did provide some documentation to Alec and his group from our production group.
I'm going to ask you to take a look at what I've just highlighted under topic number. It's subpoena duces tecum, paragraph number 2. And it asks for documents relating to this case, in fact, and then it also says specifically, this specifically includes the op-ed by Ms. Heard and any impact it may have had on the above. And that includes, as it's defined above, including the business relationship with Mr. Depp, including considering Mr. Depp for any work with Disney or future Pirates of the Caribbean role, or a lesser or greater role, a different role, or a different production. Do you recall seeing in any of the documents you reviewed, either being involved as the corporate designee or in preparing as the corporate designee, do you recall seeing an op-ed written by Ms. Heard?
Hit the likes on the way in.
Do you recall in your preparation as the corporate designee of Disney and your review of the documents that were produced by Disney, any document that referred in any manner to the op-ed written by Ms. Heard?
I would say no.
Do you remember seeing in any of the documents you reviewed that were produced by Disney in response to the subpoena duces tecum, the word op-ed in any of those documents?
I don't recall that, no.
Did you have any discussions with anyone at Disney about any future Pirates of the Caribbean role, a lesser or greater role, a different role, or a different production?
No.
Did you have any discussions with anyone at Disney about the impact of the op-ed by Ms. Heard on the relationship between Disney and Mr. Depp, including considering Mr. Depp for any work with Disney, any future Pirates of the Caribbean role, a lesser or greater role, a different role, or a different production?
No.
Do you
We just don't like you,
whether
Amber is
Mr.
trending.
is being considered for a role in Pirates 6?
No.
And when you say no, I think I have to probably ask clarification. Does that mean you don't know one way or the other, or he is not being considered?
I don't know one way or the other.
Facts, because he gonna be in that
I'm
shit,
sorry, go
bitch.
ahead.
I was just going to say that decision doesn't fall within my job responsibility. It's above my head. It's the best way to say it.
So what is the knowledge you have about Pirate 6?
Like I said, I just know that it's a project that's possibly in development at the studio. That's it.
Do you know whether anyone at Disney has ever even read the op-ed written by Ms. Heard?
No.
Are you aware of anyone else at Disney who has knowledge of the topic areas in the deposition notice, that's deposition exhibit number 2, that beyond what you know?
I can't honestly say. I can't speak for someone else. Like I explained earlier, my knowledge and what my job functionality is at the studio, at plateaus, and there are people that I work under, and those particular persons may or may not have more knowledge, but I can't speak on behalf of them.
Is Disney aware that Mr. Depp has testified under oath that he would not take another Pirates of the Caribbean franchise role for $300 million and 1 million alpacas?
No.
Would Disney entertain paying Mr. Depp more than $300 million and provide him with more than 1 million alpacas to be able to obtain his services for any future Pirates of the Caribbean role?
No.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as deposition exhibit number 52 to Alan Horn. Who's that?
He was our co-chairman.
Of Disney?
Yes.
And Alan Bergman, who's he?
Same. He's the other co-chairman of Disney, or was at the time.
And then Sean Bailey, you indicated, was the president?
Hit the like on the way in.
Okay, and then Ricky Strauss, who's he?
I believe at the time he was the head of our marketing group.
And Paul Rader?
We got a bitch from Disney in the building. A bitch from Disney in the building.
All right, and this is from Angela Shaw, and it's dated 5/10/2017. Do you see that?
Yes.
And it says, subject HR, Johnny Depp, a star in crisis, and the insane story of his missing millions. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any understanding as to why Angela Shaw was sending this communication to this group, the 2 co-chairmen, the president, vice president of production, head of communications on this particular day?
I don't know what the intent of the email is, but obviously we have a relationship as a company with Johnny, so I assume that's why she may be bringing it to their attention.
All right, and just to take that a little bit further, given that Disney has a relationship with Johnny Depp, if there is publicity relating to Johnny Depp, whether it be positive or negative, that would be relevant to Disney, would it not?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say how it's relevant to Disney, but given that Angela is part of communications, it's her job to, keep the studio abreast, I guess, of anything concerning the company, so. That's about as far as I can read into it.
Okay. And so that's your interpretation of why Angela Shaw sent this to that group of people, was to keep them apprised of this particular article on Johnny Depp. Would you agree?
Yeah, that would be my assumption. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to take a look at what has been labeled as exhibit number 53, and it is Disney 114 through 137. And I'm going to ask you if you recognize this document.
Well, it looks like an internal email. It may have been part of the disclosure documents.
This one's from Alan Horn, and I think we've identified Alan Horn before. Well, actually, it starts with, let's start down here. On June 21st, 2018, all right, and then it has a reply from Sean Bailey, sad. Do you see that?
Yes.
What was Mr. Bailey's position with Disney on June 21st, 2018?
I believe he was the president then.
Okay.
He may have been the EVP. I don't know.
Okay. And then we have an email at the top. It's to Sean Bailey, CC Janelle Tipton. And then it has some copies to some other people. It's from Alan Horn. I believe we said he was one of the co-directors. Is that correct?
Co-chairman.
Co-chairman. Okay. And Alan Bergman.
The other co-chairman.
Okay. And do you have any recollection of ever reading the Rolling Stones article about Johnny Depp back in this time frame?
I honestly don't remember if I ever read this document. I may have.
Do you have any understanding of why this would be sent from Alan Horn to these other individuals on the top?
Again, same as before, just because of the fact that we have a relationship with Johnny. So they may have determined it was important to bring it to their attention.
All right, Ms. Newman, I'm going to show you what has been marked as deposition exhibit number 54. And do you recognize this document?
Yes, it looks like a email.
Please describe it for me.
It's an email. Well, it started from Scott to myself. Scott Sellers is in Post Finance, and then I replied to Scott. So it looks like an email exchange between the two of us.
All right, and you said Scott Sellers is in Post Finance?
Correct.
What is that?
He handles all finances once film goes into post-production on any given picture. Also reporting for the studio, internal reporting, finances.
All right. And this is July 14, 2018 that he's sending this to you,
He keeps an eye on the paper.
Yes.
Do you recall reading the story that was in the Rolling Stone, The Trouble with Johnny Depp?
I mean, to be honest, I don't really remember much about the story, but obviously I must have looked at it and commented.
Right, and in fact, you commented depressing.
This ain't the most exciting bitch right here.
And just to
ups and downs of the trial. This ain't the most exciting bit.
Do you see that it has importance and received on this when you sent it back?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Ms. Newman, I'm going to ask you to take a look at what has been marked as deposition exhibit number 56. And it is a document also produced by Disney, and there's the date stamps, Disney 167 through 177. And I'm going to ask you to take a look at the top there. This is to Alan Bergman from, and it has THR's Today and Entertainment. Do you understand what that is?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to turn down to 169. It says Johnny Depp's legal team prepares for court hearing about Amber Heard abuse claims. The actors' camp is previewing the evidence that it will present in an upcoming court hearing in the UK this fall, tied to a defamation lawsuit against the Sun for an article.
Hit the like button on the way in.
Wife beater, end of quote. Katie,
this ain't the most entertaining bitch, but she up there.
You see that?
Yes.
This is Disney. This is a representative from Disney. Speaking on the paper.
Case in this time frame, we're talking October 2018.
I may have seen a headline come across my desk in the same manner as Alan received it, but that's probably as far as it went.
Ms. Newman, I'm going to show you what has been marked as deposition number 60. And it's dated November 5, 2020. And it says Disney reportedly scraps plans for Depp's POTC 6. I'm assuming that's Pirates of the Caribbean 6 return. You see that? Question was, did you see it?
There is no Pirates of the Caribbean without Johnny Depp.
Here today, are you aware of any document in Disney's emails or in their IT system or anywhere that contains Amber Heard's op-ed from December of 2018?
I mean, no, not that I'm aware.
Okay. Are you aware of any decision maker within Disney who has ever said they are not casting Johnny Depp in Pirates 6 or any other role because of Amber Heard's op-ed?
No.
They not gonna come out and say that shit.
Decision maker outside of Disney, and by this I'm including producers, directors, people of that ilk, who have ever said they were not considering Mr. Depp for Pirates 6 or any other movie because of Amber Heard's op-ed from December 2018?
No.
All right. Do we? How much time?
We have an 11-minute one.
Okay, that's fine. What's your next witness?
Ellen Barkin,
All right.
Barkin.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Barkin.
Good morning.
I think the first thing that would be very short but very simple and clean for the record is if you could just describe kind of your career background. I know it's very lengthy, but just give a kind of brief summary of kind of when you started working and what you've done during your career.
I started acting professionally about 26 or 7. And I did theater, television, movies, lots of them. That's what I did for 40 years.
And in the course of your career acting in theater, television, movies, etc., did you come to meet a person by the name of Johnny Depp?
Yes.
Can you specify in time, Ms. Barkin, when you met him?
I would say 1990.
And upon or after meeting him, did there come a time when you became friends?
Yes.
And can you describe how that happened?
We just developed a friendship over time.
Here's another bitch coming to stab Johnny in the back right now. You know what it is?
Maybe 10 years, a little less.
And fair to say that Mr. Depp at the time was also an actor.
All of these motherfuckers.
Yes.
Yeah, bitch. Amp up. Get ready to drop this knife in the back.
Did you act in any film, stage, or TV productions with Mr. Depp?
Yes, I was in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
How often would you see Mr. Depp?
When I lived in New York, usually whenever I'd go to L.A., if I were in L.A., I'd see him once a week, maybe more. I mean, the friendship went up and down.
Up and down, and now it's gone, bitch.
And did there come a time when your friendship with Mr. Depp became more than that, became romantic in nature?
Yes.
And at what point in time did your relationship with Mr. Depp take a romantic turn?
After I had moved to Hollywood.
Romantic? How old is this bitch?
And he, you know,
romantic. How old is this bitch? You know Johnny Depp only 5 y'all about
switch the buttons.
Wow, that must have been early. That must have been Johnny Depp getting manipulated by an old man.
To a romantic one.
At that point in 1994, when the relationship turned romantic,
Change that to sexual.
To sexual.
How
long did your relationship with
Change it
Mr.
to
Depp
sexual.
remain sexual?
We was just fucking. I don't know if it was
Several
romantic.
months. Anywhere between 3 and 5, 6.
And during that period, how often would you see Mr. Depp? That period when it was sexual?
I'd say I'd see him 3 or 4 times a week.
And again, I'm not.
He's fucking 3 or 4 times a week.
Details, but can you tell me like where you would see him? Just give me some sense of that.
Yeah, he would come to my house, or I would go to his house.
And both houses in L.A.?
Yes, about 10-minute drive apart from each other.
Sexual. Sexual.
Either when you were at his house, where you didn't stay the night, or where you were at his house when you did stay the night, were there other people in the house who saw you there? Who would those people be?
He had an assistant.
Damn, when was he fucking that bitch? This bitch looked like a legit old bitch.
That's all I can remember.
This bitch is a legit old bitch. When was he fucking?
I don't know his name. He was referred to as Pig.
He was referred to by
legit old bitch.
Johnny Depp.
Shout out to old
At any
bitches.
point that you were either initially friends and then sexual with Mr. Depp, did you become aware that he...
Amber is over there. Look at Johnny like, man, this bitch. Oh, they hype.
Okay, and
the cross gonna be beautiful.
He was drunk.
It ain't live. Damn.
A lot of the time.
It ain't live cross. Damn.
And that would apply both to when you were initially
Get the
friends
lights
and then
up.
later when it became sexual.
Yeah.
And what was he drunk? What would your understanding? What had he drunk to become drunk?
He was a red wine drinker.
Amber Heard is rejoicing right now. Look at that. Oh my God.
Alcohol,
She rejoicing. Look at that. Oh, she rejoicing.
Was taking any prescription medication?
No.
Same question, Mr. Barkin, for illegal substances.
Yes.
Same question.
Hit the like button on the way in. Hallucinogenics. Oh my God. Cocaine.
Marijuana.
Weed.
Hallucinogenics. Can you say specifically?
Amber is over there rejoicing.
He.
Oh God.
Tripping.
Did Amber win today? Is this a win for
With
Amber?
respect to
Might have
any of
won
that,
today.
Hallucinogenics, cocaine, or marijuana. Did he do any of that in your presence?
Yes.
Yes, he did. Cocaine and marijuana in my presence.
When you say all the time, how many times, again, in the period that you were both first friends and then sexual with Mr. Depp, do you think you saw him?
I couldn't even tell you. I mean, I just know he was always drinking or smoking a joint.
But would it be fair to say more than at least dozens of times?
Always drinking.
Over the full course, oh yeah.
Or smoking a joint. He was always drinking.
Now, did you ever observe, Ms. Barkin, Mr. Depp's behavior change when he drank more or used more drugs?
I did not.
So he was kind of the same all the time, fair to say?
It was not the same. He was high.
Did there come a time, Ms. Barkin, when Mr. Depp acted in a way that was out of control with you?
Yes.
Oh, here it comes. They finna
Mr.
corroborate.
Depp threw a wine bottle across the room, the hotel room in one instance in Las Vegas while we were shooting Fear and Loathing.
They finna corroborate some
Was
shit.
something about to happen?
A fight was going on.
Between you and Mr. Depp?
No.
Who was the fight between?
Between Johnny Depp and his friends in the room, the assistant. Honestly, I don't remember.
And the bottle do you remember sitting here today, Ms. Barkin, whether the bottle was full of wine or empty?
I don't.
Hit the like button on the way in.
Ms. Barkin, do you remember whether the bottle hit you?
No, it did not.
Did the bottle hit anyone else?
No, it did not.
Approximately how far away from you was Mr. Depp when he threw the bottle?
Across the room, so maybe by that break in the table or a little further down. It was a toss.
And sitting here today, if the bottle had hit you, would it have injured you? Sure. Ms. Barkin, was it your understanding back then that he was throwing the bottle at you?
I don't know why he threw the bottle.
And was it?
They trying to cooperate?
Yes.
Were there other people standing around you?
Yes.
So he threw it in your direction at a group of people?
Yes.
Whose hotel room was it?
His, Johnny Depp's.
Why can't I throw a bottle of wine in, you know, if I'm mad? What's going on here?
I went to go home. There was a big goodbye, crying, a lot of jealous, don't do this, don't do that. And I never heard from him again after that.
And did
cut you off,
Mr. Depp not want you to go back to Los Angeles at the time?
Yes, he didn't want me to go. I was only supposed to be there for 2 days. I stayed for longer.
And you just referenced, you just used the word jealous. How did that come up? What did he say that indicated to you that he was jealous?
He's just a jealous man, controlling. Where are you going? Who are you going with? What did you do last night? I had a scratch on my back once that got him very, very angry because he insisted it came from me having sex with a person who
It did, though.
Him.
During the time
it
that you were in a
did,
sexual
though.
relationship
It did.
with Mr. Depp, was it common for him to say things to you about being controlling, to use your words, or being jealous of you?
Look at the Amber rejoicing.
Yeah, very common.
And when, in these instances, when Mr. Depp became jealous or controlling, did he also become angry?
Yeah. And demanding.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go and take our afternoon recess. Please do not discuss the case and do not do any outside research, okay? We'll see you back in 15 minutes.
What do you think? In the chat, do you think that bitch that just got off the stand was trustworthy? Put up a 1 if you think she was trustworthy. Put up a 2 if a bitch is not trustworthy. Put up a 1 if you think she was trustworthy. Put up a 2 if she was untrustworthy.
Come back at 3:45. Does that give you time to be ready? Okay. All right. 3:45.
Yeah, I said exactly. Burnt out. Used it, been through it, just been through it, burnt out, been through it. Salute, shout out, God bless everybody, man. Thanks for tapping in. We are live right now, tapping into the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp defamation trial. Thank you for tapping in with the Bossmack Topsoil. We are bringing you live coverage, real nigga opinion being manifested while this is going on. Real nigga opinion while this is going on. Listen up, man. I want y'all to, while y'all tapped into the Bossmack Topsoil, while you are tapped in to the Bossmack Topsoil, I want you to do this thing right here, man. I want you to do this thing, man. I'm gonna go over here, man, to Hood Vlogs. The most notorious Pyru set in
B-Fly is a company that
the most notorious Pyru set in Bompton. The most notorious Pyru set in Bompton, California. In Bompton, California, man. I want y'all to tap in, man, and see the homie, and see my brethren, Boogaloo, do his thizzle thing, man.
I mean, we not all from just one Pyru hood.
You feel me?
You got the east side, who has a couple of hoods over there. Then you got the west.
Tap
you know what I mean?
in.
You got a couple of hoods. The bridge is what separates the east and the west. The bridge on Rosecrans, you feel me? And it's only one Compton Crip hood on Rosecrans, and that's Santana. Other than that, there's no Crips on Rosecrans. The Crips is mainly on.
Hey, shout out Boogaloo on Hood Vlogs. Make sure y'all check that out.
But if you from LA,
check out the show last night. We did a show last night. Me and Boogaloo. Tap in, man. Tap into my co-host that be hosting with the Bossmack Topsoil, bringing y'all niggas high quality game, authentic, high quality, real nigga talking. You understand me? She probably did fuck with Wesley Snipes though. That looked like a bitch that Wesley Snipes might have fucked with. Yes, I can agree with that. Shout out Alan Sullivan. Alan Sullivan. The bitch is untrustworthy. Hell yeah, bro. Disgruntled bitch. She probably, that's her claim to fame, man. That's that bad look right there. You know what I'm saying? That's that bad look right there. That's that bad look. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Let me explain what I'm talking about. That's that bad look right there. That's that bad look right there. What am I talking about? That last old bitch that was on there talking about her and Johnny was a sexual relationship. You see Amber Heard over there rejoicing. You know what I'm saying? The bitch is empowered by, looking at the withered old bitch over there that used to be fucking with, and she's over there looking like Cleopatra, diamond it. You know what I'm talking about? Man, it's a cold game out here, brother. It's a cold game. Oh, bless him. I appreciate that $10, man, nigga. I needed that, bro. I appreciate that, man. We always appreciate that. Salute. Appreciate that 10 on the Cash App. God bless y'all. For real. But anyway, man, that's that bad look right there, man. You don't want to have one come back from the past looking like that, bro, and speaking on what y'all was doing and this and that, man, in the face of the higher level one over here, man. You know what I'm talking about? You don't want that to come back on you, man. It's a bad look. It make you look bad. I'm trying to tell you, man. That's why Amber over there rejoicing. You see her snickering and happy. Y'all ain't hearing me though. It's all good. All right, look. We on break right now. We having a little recess in there, man. Today, man, I got to keep it a buck, man. It looked like Amber regrouped and came back kind of strong. All right, let's get it. Let's tap it in. Let's see what's going on, and then we gonna wait a minute. Hold on right quick. Salute, hit the like button on the way in. Yeah. We live reviewing the reviewing the show. I mean reviewing the trial. You know what I'm talking about? And let's see. We just don't like you, Amber. We just don't like you, Amber. It's trending on Twitter. We just don't like you, Amber. It's trending on Twitter. I'm not sure if let me see. We just don't like you, Amber. Trending on Twitter. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Court stenographer had to write Amber Turd into the transcripts. Oh, what a beautiful analysis. I didn't even realize how the lawyer got that off in the courtroom. I had to reflect on that. He got off the Amber Turd is in the transcripts. That's right. Eberskeezer Splooge. That's pretty dope. That's a great observation. The stenographer had to write that in there. We just don't like you, Amber. I would just like you to know, when you analyze these statistics again, I am not a bot. I just genuinely do not like her. We just don't like you, Amber. See, the public, I just feel that out there. I mean, I know Amber brought in I guess she's trying to paint a picture like Johnny is controlling the thoughts of the people, but I just think everybody in the world likes Johnny Depp more than Amber Heard. You know what I'm saying? We like Captain Jack Sparrow more than her. You feel me? And we want to see Johnny Depp in the new Pirates of the Caribbean, and we're upset that this bullshit is keeping him out of it. And we want to see him in the Pirates of the Caribbean. That's what. Alan Sullivan said. He said, I get blessings from his Uber passengers. Shout out to the people riding in the Uber with Alan, man. Hey, shout out to whoever riding in the Uber with Alan Sullivan, fucking with the Bossmack topsoil right now. I appreciate that to the motherfucking max right now. I'm trying to told you, man. Hey, I'm trying to told you. Thank you. Man, people going hard, man. They upset. Hey, man. Hey, we just don't like you, Amber. Is trending. Oh, no, wait a minute. It might have dropped out. Let me see. It might have dropped out. Okay, I think it dropped out. Oh, no, it didn't. Number 4. We just don't like you, Amber. Is number 4 trending right now. People are voicing their opinion. Bitter Women United. I stand with Johnny Depp. Is trending. Wait a minute. Oh, man. Look at this bit. They done already clipped this bit. Look at this. Look how quickly they done already clipped this bit. Let's see. They done already. I stand with this is I stand with Amber Heard shit. I never heard this hashtag before. Wait a minute, hold on. We just, damn.
Abuser. That's one of them.
That is one of them.
We just don't like you, Amber. That's one of them.
That is one of them.
And the last one was Amber Turd, right?
Oh.
That is another one.
Okay. And that's right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We just don't like you.
Before you picked, at least the negative ones, Justice for Johnny Depp. That's from one of them, right?
That's right.
Amber Heard is an abuser. That's one of them.
That is one of them.
Hey.
We just don't like you, Amber. That's one of them.
That is one of them.
And the last one was Amber Turd, right?
Amber Turd.
That's another one.
Okay. And
Yeah.
right? Yes. Yeah. And the four.
Man. Hit the like button on the way in. Subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, man. Amber Heard's experts. Let's see. Amber Heard's expert designates these Amber negative hashtags. Designates these negative. Amber Heard's expert designates these negative hashtags. Justice for Johnny Depp is a negative hashtag. Amber Heard is an abuser is a negative hashtag. She shit in the bed. Amber Turd is a negative hashtag. She the one who shitted in the bed. How could you ever like a bitch who did that? How can you ever like a bitch who shitted in a bed without water? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? The whole bed is ruined because the shit is going through the bed is ruined. I didn't even think about that. When she shit on the bed, the shit is going through the spreads into the fabric of the bed itself. You feel me? The shit is going into the fabric of the bed itself and into the cotton, into the structure of the bed. Forever. Fecal matter. And then a bitch thought it was funny. Her and her sidekick hang around motherfuckers that she invited to hang around, you know. I bet you that was like, you got to let my friends live here. If you want to be with me, Johnny, you got to let my friends live here type shit. I got to always have my friends who don't have jobs around. And you let them live here free too while we all work together, while we every day while Amber and her sidekick friends every day sit around and try to come up with different ways to catch Johnny slipping and to fuck him over and to make sure that she could divorce a motherfucker and tax a motherfucker. I need y'all. And so it's funny when a bitch shit on a bed, you know, because I got it, you know, I got it. Ruin the bed and laugh. Y'all laugh together. And just imagine imagine look at these motherfuckers. Let me just look at these motherfuckers. All these motherfuckers right here. Let's look at these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers right here. Let's look at these motherfuckers. Look at these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers right here all live free. They was all living free off of Johnny. Amber said that they had to be around and live free. You understand me? In the penthouse. In one of the penthouses. They had to be there. You feel me? You know what I'm talking about? They had to be there. Amber said, hey, I got to have my friends around. And nobody work. And nobody pay rent. You feel me? And on top of that, try to figure out ways to put Johnny in a twist so Amber could cash out. And everybody worked for Amber, all 5 of them. Then the one at the top thought it was funny when a bitch shit in the bed. Can you imagine how the smell of that, can you imagine how that just hit? You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine? Can you imagine how that hit, though? The smell with no water in the room. Can you imagine? I got up the wrong shit. Hold on. Can you imagine the aroma of shit on the bed? Shit on the bed. And with no water. While a bitch is at Coachella trying to figure out how she could sit on a dick with her homegirls. How could you ever, after a bitch did that to me, she's so fired after that. There's no way. Once the aroma of the shit hit me, and I had the realization that a bitch had shit in the bed, in my bed, I would deem that like a curse. I would be like, this bitch has cursed me. This is Satan. This bitch is Satan. She has cursed me. She has shit in my bed, and I have captured the aroma. And that aroma, the raw aroma. See, I want to tap in. I know y'all niggas is like, why is you talking about shit in the bed like this? But the aroma would tax me so hard. Let's see if we back at it. I don't know. I don't even know if we back at it. Let me get back at it. The aroma. Let me get back at it. I'm looking at my dad. The aroma. Wait a minute. Let me get off myself. Let me get back.
This groundbreaking bug zapper is destroying the home pesticide industry. This U.S. Army...
I'm looking at myself. All right, we back at it. I'm tripping. Let me get back up there. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm tripping. I'm ranting to myself. Let me get back at it. Thank you, DC Bowl. Yeah, man. Once that aroma hit me, just a summation, y'all. Once that aroma hit me of shit, right? Once that aroma hit me, I would forever associate her with that aroma. The aroma would be, when I thought of her, I would think of shit. I would be like, this is a foul human being It doesn't matter how she make herself look pretty. This I cannot associate with her ever again. I can never associate with this bitch ever. This bitch is fired. Whatever we got to do, fired.
Okay, thank you. Your next witness.
Your Honor, we call Dr. Alan Blaustein.
Bitch.
All right.
Blaustein.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, and I'm asking questions first. I believe I may be the only one asking questions.
All right. All right, thank you.
Can you please provide your full name?
Alan Scott Blaustein.
You're a doctor, correct?
Correct.
And you're a psychiatrist?
Yes.
How long have you been a psychiatrist for?
Since 1987.
And you went to medical school?
Yes.
What medical school did you go to?
Northwestern University.
Now, Johnny Depp was a patient of yours, correct?
Correct.
You understood that Mr. Depp had substance dependence issues, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you recall what substance issues, what substances Mr. Depp had issues with?
Marijuana, alcohol.
How you have issues with marijuana, man?
Opiates.
The fuck out of here, bro.
Did you ever have an understanding that Mr. Depp had anxiety syndrome?
I knew Mr. Depp had anxiety.
And how did you come to be aware that Mr. Depp had anxiety?
He told me that.
Do you recall having any conversation that Mr. Depp was bipolar?
There was some question about bipolar disorder diagnosis, but I do not remember any specifics about the discussion.
Do you recall having a conversation with Mr. Depp about a bipolar diagnosis?
No.
What behaviors did Mr. Depp acknowledge that should be changed?
Hit the like button on the way in.
Certainly his drug use and his turning to drugs to help relieve a lot of the psychic pain that he was experiencing.
In working with Mr. Depp, would you agree that Mr. Depp had fundamental issues with anger?
I would say that he expressed having issues with anger.
Mr. Depp expressed having issues with anger?
Yes.
Did Mr. Depp express having issues of anger towards Amber?
He expressed having anger towards her. Yes.
Do you recall what reasons Mr. Depp told you as to why he was expressing anger towards Amber?
I can't, no, I'll have to say no.
In working with Mr. Depp, was he ever suspicious of Amber having affairs?
Of course. Of course, because she was.
I can recall now he expressed feelings of jealousy. But I don't remember if it was about affairs.
Do you recall any more detail about what Mr. Depp was feeling jealousy toward Amber about?
No.
In working with Mr. Depp, did you see that Mr. Depp had any issues with patience?
Yes, he was impatient.
What is your understanding about
don't know rich motherfuckers have
issues
patience.
that Mr. Depp had
Do
with
that
Amber?
shit now, nigga. You got to do it now.
Chaotic relationship with a lot of fluctuations and ups and downs and lots of difficulty in emotional expressions and lots of anger in both places and high intensity affect and emotional expression. love, a lot of disappointment, a lot of fears.
Dr. Blaustein, I'm showing you what's been marked as Blaustein Exhibit 3. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Okay. What is it?
It's my invoice billing document.
This is from your files?
Correct.
You keep this document in the ordinary course of business?
Correct.
And this billing invoice is for Johnny Depp, correct?
Correct.
And so where it says 10/2/14 from your billing records, would this be is this your understanding the first time you met with Mr. Depp?
By phone, yes.
And in total, if we look at the number of sessions you either met or spoke to Mr. Depp that weren't canceled or he didn't show up, my count, it comes to 18 times you met with Mr. Depp. Does that sound about right?
Looks like 18 times.
Did you have any concerns about any of the amounts of medications that Mr. Depp was taking?
I had concerns about the Adderall that I would have expressed to him.
And what were the concerns about the Adderall?
I don't recall the specific conversations, but I would have been asking about how he was diagnosed to have ADHD, or under what circumstances he would take that, especially if he wasn't currently working.
Did you ever talk to Mr. Depp about what he did when
Amber Turd trending?
Would visit?
Amber Turd is trending.
When you were working with Mr. Depp, did you have any understanding whether Mr. Depp was still abusing drugs and alcohol or not?
Yes.
But you do recall that there were times in your working with Mr. Depp where he had breakthrough uses of drugs or alcohol?
Yeah, that his relative sobriety was not complete, yes.
And that's what you mean by breakthrough usage, that his sobriety, Mr. Depp's sobriety, was not complete?
Well, relative sobriety. Again, I said relative sobriety because he did continue to use marijuana throughout, almost entirely throughout the time that I knew him, with a short time exception, I think.
Of course.
I called it relative sobriety. Then there'd be some breakthrough uses of other substances.
Of course.
Okay. And when you say
smoking weed continuously,
just so everyone
never stopping smoking weed. Fuck you mean?
He was trying to be sober. He was working on sobriety, and by breakthrough uses, I mean sobriety would mean the abstinence of using the substance, and so the breakthrough would be on a particular time he would have used the substance that he was trying to be sober.
Hit the like button on the way in.
Okay. So in addition to marijuana, in the time you saw Mr. Depp from October of 2014 through January of 2015, there were times where Mr. Depp broke his sobriety with drugs or alcohol in addition to marijuana, correct?
I believe so, yes.
How did you come to that understanding?
He would have told me.
Do you know why Mr. Depp stopped seeing you?
I know he was preparing to leave to Australia to go to work, and I assumed that was the reason.
But he hasn't returned to you since he went to Australia in 2015, correct?
Correct.
Hit the like button on the way
Did
in.
anyone inform you as to why he stopped seeing you?
No.
Blaustein Exhibit 9.
Yeah, he struck me as a weirdo, DC Bald, and you right.
reflecting your care.
I know some clinical psychologist bitches did some weird bitches. I'm like, bitch, people pay you to talk to them, bitch, you got problems. Bitch, I can't. If they knew what kind of bitch you was, bitch.
Correct.
Bet.
And this is page 1 of those notes from October 2nd, 2014.
I know a clinical psychologist bitch. And the bitch, I told her, bitch, what I be charging for consultation, the bitch got mad at me. I was like, bitch, if motherfuckers listen to you, they, bitch, are you motherfucking serious, bitch?
Okay.
And that's what makes them.
If they knew what kind of brazy bitch you was, they wouldn't give you shit, bitch.
Any
bitch.
abuse he received as a child or an adolescent?
Yes.
And
fuck out of here, bitch.
Difficulties that Mr. Depp was talking to you about in his relationship with his fiance.
Hit the like button.
No, not from this.
What does it say?
Such a pain in the ass.
Do you recall why he was saying Amber was a pain in the ass?
No.
Okay. And what's the next thing say?
Well, in boxes about his kid's mom.
Okay.
And again, I think I have the word destructive.
What was destructive referring to? Do you know?
I don't know. No, I don't. Something relationship 14 to 15 years, mother of my kids. Out about officially. He didn't want to be his dad. Thinking I'm not abandoning like his dad. And then below kids, it says clear, better. She needed me to be all this. She needed me to be all this week or all this work. I don't know.
If we turn to the next page, it says page 2.
Yep, got it.
And then what's the next line say?
This violence, rage that we've had over a couple of years.
Okay, and so what is Mr. Depp referring to there?
I don't recall.
So do you recall that in working with Mr. Depp...
Hit the like button on the way in.
Violence and rage in other relationships in addition to his relationship with Amber?
Well, rage and chaos. I don't remember violence, but I do remember rage and chaos. Now, again, the context of this is I had met him at this point. So this is an initial telephone consultation. So to see whether or not he was going to start therapy with me.
But in your working with Mr. Depp, was he
hit the like button?
And chaos with relationships in addition to his relationship with Amber, correct?
Yes.
What other relationships was he talking about rage and chaos?
Again, I don't have the specific recollection, but I think it included the mother of his children, and arguments about not child custody, child care, or visitation, or access to the children. On the left, it says
Amber Turds trending number 1 on Twitter.
And then below that, she tried to protect me. She tried to protect me too.
You know what that's referring to?
My association now is his sister, but I don't think that's true. I don't have a specific recollection, no. Wouldn't take fear. Wake up to fight devil. Wait up to fight devil.
You know what that's referring to? Wait up to fight devil?
I think he referred to a devil as some version of internal depression and chaos that he felt. Something like an everyday phenomenon he felt he was struggling. And he, I think, would label it as a devil.
So Mr. Depp labeled
Hit the like button on the way in. Salute.
As a representation of something horrible inside of himself, what I would say.
So the devil was something horrible inside of himself, correct? That's what Mr.
Again, I don't think he ever said that, so I'm going to be careful here. The devil was a representation of the battle that he had many days when he woke up with the depression and
hit the like button on the way up in this motherfucker. Subscribe. Tell your people to subscribe. Tell all your people to subscribe. Subscribe.
Himself as a monster.
Remember the word monster in my office, but I don't know if it's referring to himself or not. Maybe that'll be more revealed as we go forward.
Now, turning to Blaustein 12, which is page 4 of this exhibit. And there's a 3 at the top, correct?
Yeah.
And then to the right, that says Amber fiance, correct?
Correct.
And then there's
work through anger, just below that.
And where it's saying work through anger, is that referring to his anger towards Amber?
I think what he was saying then is that part of his goal of therapy was to work through anger that he and his fiance had towards each other. Then going back to the left, better with girl about it. Self-destructive, hard to not put in front of me.
You know what self-destructive, hard not to put in front of me means? It's referring to?
I think self-destructive was his drug use. That's what I think referring to at this time.
I'm now looking at Blaustein 13, which has a page 4. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And at the top it says Johnny/Debbie, correct?
Correct.
All right. And then the date, it says 10/what?
That's 10/7.
And so it says JD 10/21/14, correct?
Correct. A lot of things, work, intense work, fatigue. Need a minute.
Got it.
Here I can say with certainty, his words, shit with my girl.
And what's that referring to?
Difficulty he was having with Amber.
Do you recall what he was talking about, what difficulty he was having with, Mr. Depp was having with Amber?
No.
The next line looks like it says she refuses to accept.
Correct.
Do you know what Amber refuses to accept? What Mr. Depp was referring to?
Nope.
And to the right, it says Amber what?
Amber wedding.
Were you talking at this point about potentially Mr. Depp and Amber marrying?
Yes, he was talking about that, yes.
Okay. And then what does it say under she refuses to accept?
Wedding February.
And then what's next?
May not want to go to marriage, 51 years old.
Were there any discussions that you had with Mr. Depp where he had concerns about the age difference between him and Amber?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. But what does it say under 51 years old?
A lot of life experiences. You're being my mother and psychotic sister.
What did you understand Mr. Depp was referring to where you wrote you're being my mother and psychotic sister?
I think that's something that he told me, he said to her. He was...
Get the like on the way in.
Being my mother and psychotic sister?
That's what I would think, yes.
Okay. Then the next line.
High tolerance for marijuana.
Who has a high tolerance for marijuana?
He did.
right, turning to the next page, which is Blaustein 15, and where I have a number 5.
Amber looking like a boss.
There. What is it? Something?
Self-destructed very early.
And was Mr. Depp talking about himself being self-destructive very early?
Yes.
Okay. How is Mr. Depp describing that he was self-destructive?
I think, I don't recall, but let's continue and maybe something's there.
So he was trying to be sober from booze and pills, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then was it you who said reward?
Yeah, asking him about where can he get rewards elsewhere. Where did he get reward? I maybe asked him, where did he get rewards elsewhere? And there he said, in the past, MDMA, ecstasy, cocaine.
So what did you understand where he wrote MDMA, ecstasy, cocaine?
I'm not quite sure, but those are things that he had used in the past. There is another possibility that I had asked him specifically about that, but I don't think so. I think it's more likely that those were things he had used in the past.
Do you know what pills Mr. Depp was referring to be sober from?
I know oxycodone was the main thrust of that time.
And then it says, back to the left, it says left off.
Yeah, and that's probably a note to myself to try to get back to a reward loop mechanism, and it's parallel to a relationship. What kinds of rewards could come back to him that could be healthy? What kinds of rewards that could come from the relationship that could be healthy? And then talk about biology changes. So I made a note to myself there to talk about how the brain changes in the face of many of these drugs over time.
How the brain changes.
That his brain can change as he continues to take these drugs?
Yes, I did.
And then it says 10/27/14.
More on relationship issues. Being accused, in his word, of being manic. Grounded by seeing children. Son is one of the positive aspects of the relationship. I assume he's talking about his past relationship there.
Mr. Depp was saying that Amber reminded him of his mom and his psychotic sister.
The relationship reminded him of his relationship with his psychotic sister and his mother. Yes.
And Mr.
Psychotic
Depp
sister and mother living under sour bitches.
Being accused of being manic.
Yes.
Did he say who accused him of being manic?
I assume from this it was Amber.
Turn to the next page, Blaustein 16. Yeah, and this is 10/29/14 at the top.
Mm-hmm. Mood euthymic.
What does that mean?
Attention. Normal mood. Attention decreased.
You mean by
memory decreased? Difficulty with attention. Paying attention. Memory. Transitional difficulties.
What do you mean by having transitional difficulties with his memory?
It would have been part of a maybe mental status test that I would have done in the first session, where
this motherfucker put motherfuckers to sleep.
Holding on to memory of things from 5 minutes ago. If I asked him to remember 3 words, he may have had difficulty. He would have had difficulty remembering those 3 words 5 minutes later after distracting him with other conversation.
All right. And then what does it say after that?
THC, a marijuana, as part of issue. tetrahydrocannabinol. That's what THC stands for.
So you saw THC as an issue with Mr. Depp's memory and attention, is that right?
Well, with the transitional memory, at least, yes. Perhaps the attention. MSE, mental status examination. More present, more attention. Off on dates. When I would ask him about...
hit the like button on the way in.
What today's date was, perhaps, is what that's referring to.
So Mr. Depp was off on
what date that was.
Date. Turning to the next page, Blaustein 17. It says JD at the top and then 11, 10, 14. See that?
Yep, I have that.
Okay. And Mr. Depp came in to see you on 11, 10, 14?
Correct.
Okay. And what's the first line say?
Some clouding, probably secondary to THC.
What do you mean by clouding?
Would have been something in confusion or something about his mental state, or less sharp, less alert, perhaps.
Clouding. I like that term, clouding.
No evidence of.
I like that little term right there, clouding.
What do you mean by that?
I didn't see in his presentation any evidence of mania or hypomania.
Okay. Next line.
Discussion about relationships, core issues of trust. Amber says contact. Don't know.
Okay.
Fruitless meeting with her therapist.
Hit the like button on the way in. Salute.
Or hypomania in any of your other sessions?
Not that I recall.
And at 10:24:14, Mr. Depp came in for another individual session, correct?
11:24:14.
The first line says 15 minutes late.
15 minutes late. Clear.
Hit the like button on the way in.
Looking at jealous parts of him.
What do you mean by that, looking at jealous parts of him?
Things that make him jealous and what his role might be in jealousy.
Jealous parts of him.
And what made Mr. Depp jealous?
Well, about what was happening there, but with Amber, I don't know. I can't recall. I see in my next notice it was a triggering point. On my next notice, triggering point, early breakup at 22, where an actress cheated with a leading man.
So was Mr. Depp jealous of Amber being with other men?
I don't remember that specifically.
Okay. And turning to Blaustein 18.
How you gonna get mad at your bitch for cheating 14. With the leading man in a movie she in, man? What the fuck, man? Come on, man.
For an individual
supposed to happen, man? What is going on here, man?
Correct.
And then
supposed to happen.
In quotes.
Would have been his word. And what he meant by that, the elements were fear, envy, and vigilance.
So Mr. Depp told you something about paranoia?
Mm-hmm. Well, as he defined it.
And his elements of paranoia were fear, envy, and vigilance?
Chris Brown trending because Rihanna had a baby.
What's the next day? 12, 18, 14?
Chris Brown and Drake. ASAP Rocky wins.
And Mr. Depp came in for a session.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Patient working. So psychotherapy on phone. It says possible it was a phone session that I didn't mark as a phone session. Big fight with girlfriend yesterday. Struggling with how to separate.
Hit the like button on the way in.
Let her tell you her feelings. Relationship needs to take care of you. Her to go to a safe zone, withdraw. Different than childhood experiences.
And then it's at 1/6/15, correct?
Correct.
And what are these notes say?
Patient late, 20 minutes. Positive hypnotherapy session. Goals to make a beeline to bed. Using relationship to take care of the individuals. Let's see. Not logical approach to Amber's work. Take care of emotions. Sobriety continuing.
And then Blaustein 20. Move down to the last page. And this is for 1/8/15, just to be clear.
1/8/15, correct. Slate, vulnerability, woman in studio who admired Amber. Threat.
What did that mean? What did you understand that?
That probably related to
hit the like button.
That there was a woman who admired her that he felt jealous of. Let's see, the next thing is something of vulnerability. Instances of vulnerability and internal fear parallel to vulnerability in childhood. Inability. Free or fight, only way.
What does that mean, free or fight, only way?
Free or fight, or free and fight is the only way. And my understanding of that is either to be free of the relationship or fight for it. And positive relatedness with Amber through, dash vulnerability.
Did and 1/8/15 was the last time you saw or spoke to Mr. Depp as a patient, correct?
I believe that's true.
Did Mr. Depp describe to you at all how his jealousy would present itself, whether he was jealous of a man or a woman in relation to Amber?
It would make him angry. It would make him feel insecure.
Your next witness.
Your Honor, our next witness is Eric George. He was the attorney for Amber relating to the op-ed.
Will you please state?
All right.
That dude was like draining the energy. Just listening to him was like draining.
Your name for the record?
Sure. Eric George, E-R-I-C. Last name is George, G-E-O-R-G-E.
One thing these court hearings illustrate is the energy of each person, of the energy of different people.
21 Avenue of the Stars, Suite 2800,
Motherfuckers' individual energy level.
90067.
And what is the name of the law firm that you work with?
It's Brown, B-R-O-W-N-E, George, Ross, O'Brien, Anagway, and Ellis.
And you are an attorney, Mr. George?
I am.
And I take it from the name of the firm that you are one of the named partners?
I am indeed.
Okay. What are your areas of practice?
Litigation, largely in the business and entertainment areas.
Have you handled defamation and libel matters?
I have.
Where are you barred? In other words, what states are you a member of the bar?
Sure. In California, New York, and Washington, D.C.
And are you also a member or barred in the United States Supreme Court?
I am.
Can you please tell us where you attended undergraduate and law school?
Sure. At Georgetown for...
Georgetown in the building.
What, if any, service did you have?
Hit the like button on the way in.
Senate Judiciary Committee.
Sure. I'm I'm just pausing to get my dates correct here. In approximately March of 1999, I began service as counsel to the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee, where I served through about mid-2000.
And what, if any, service did you have to the Secretary, the Legal Affairs Secretary to the Governor, Pete Wilson?
Sure. From about March 1997 to January of 1999, I was counsel to then Governor Pete Wilson, and my specific title was Deputy Legal Affairs Secretary.
Have you been recognized for your career achievements since you have been an attorney?
I'll say immodestly, yes, in various ways that lawyers are from time to time in magazines and publications and whatnot.
And what, if any, recognition have you received as one of the top 100 attorneys in California?
The legal paper annually puts out a list of the top 100 attorneys in California, and I've been fortunate to be selected as one of those for many years.
And what, if any, recognition have you had as being a super lawyer in California?
Same
super lawyer,
answer, except that's, I believe it's called Los Angeles Lawyer magazine. I could have that wrong, but again, annually they put out a list
super
of
lawyer.
Super lawyers.
All right. And are you also a member of the American College of Trial Lawyers?
I am.
What is one of the qualifications for becoming a member, being invited to be a fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers?
Sure. So the college reaches out to individual lawyers who have distinguished themselves and generally occupy the top 1% of law practice. And it's an organization dedicated to the development of professionalism within the practice of law.
I'm going to now turn to Amber Heard, and I'm going to ask you, Mr. George, how long have you known Amber Heard?
I have known Amber Heard, gosh, it's got to be a good 5 years.
I'm going to be referring to an op-ed, and I'm going to use the term op-ed. It's obviously an opinion editorial that Amber Heard ended up ultimately publishing with the ACLU. And so in the Washington Post, December 18, 2018. So as I go through and ask these questions, I'm going to be using just the term op-ed. Will you be comfortable with me using op-ed and understand it to mean that particular publication on December 18, 2018?
Sure.
So what, if any,
Johnny comfortable
did you provide to Ms.
Johnny over there comfortable right now?
The op-ed?
Johnny comfortable.
She presented to me a draft of the op-ed and asked for my counsel in terms of reviewing it, editing it, and finalizing it for publication.
When is the first time Amber Heard reached out to you in connection with the op-ed and reviewing the op-ed?
It was certainly within the time frame of December 6, 2018.
In connection with the op-ed, what, if anything, was your objective in representing Amber Heard with respect to the review and revision of the op-ed?
I reviewed it and spent some significant time on it to make sure that there would be no meritorious claim that could be brought against her in connection with a defamation or related type of tort claim. And ideally, with that in mind, to minimize the possibility of her ever being sued in connection with publishing it.
So, Mr. George, I'm going to ask you to take a look at exhibit number 9.
Yes.
Are you familiar with this document?
I am.
Please describe what it is.
As its title, it's a judgment of dissolution of the marriage between Amber Heard and Mr. Depp.
Were you familiar with this document and its contents when you represented Amber Heard relating to the review of the op-ed?
Yes.
And what was your objective in representing and advising Amber Heard on the op-ed in connection with this stipulated judgment of dissolution of marriage?
So my objective was to make sure that there would be no meritorious claim that could be brought against Ms. Heard in connection with the publication of an op-ed, whether that is a tort related to, say, defamation or something akin to it, but also including any contract-based breach claim arising in connection with the judgment.
And what, if any indications did you have from Amber Heard during that time frame that
hit
Amber
the like button?
Did not intend
trying to get the 20 likes,
or did not
get me
care
the
if
20
she
likes
in a
before I'm out of here.
or might be at legal risk?
So let me answer that this way. Really 2 points. Number one, there was never anything that she said to me to the effect that she was willing to run some risk of being sued, or that she wouldn't listen to my counsel, or anything of that sort. Number two, that she affirmatively did follow, in all instances, my counsel with respect to these particular edits.
What, if any, legal advice provided by you to Amber Heard respecting the Washington Post op-ed was disregarded by Amber Heard?
None, to my knowledge.
What, if any, legal advice provided by you to Amber Heard respecting the Washington Post op-ed was followed by Amber Heard?
All of it.
What, if any, legal advice did you provide to Amber Heard in connection with the drafting and publication of the op-ed that was not made in good faith by you?
I acted in good faith throughout and with the best of my abilities.
All right, your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor, we have Jessica Kovacevich. She's Amber's agent, and that's approximately 27 minutes.
Well, how do you spell the last name for me?
It's a tough one. Kovacevic.
Hit the like button on the way in. Hit the like button. Get the likes to 20.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kovacevich. And Ms. Kovacevich, do you know that you are here today in your personal capacity and also as a representative of your agency, WME?
I do.
Hit the like button.
What do you do for work?
I'm a talent agent.
Would you please describe in just very general terms what a talent agent does generally?
Generally, you procure work for your clients. You make introductions, you read their scripts, you negotiate their deals.
And I take it Ms. Heard is one of your clients?
Yes.
Did Ms. Heard have a successful career at the time you began working with her?
Yes.
And over the period that you've worked with Ms. Heard as her agent, what have your job responsibilities been?
Amber's agent is up.
Like I mentioned before, introducing her to producers and directors, writers, studio executives, procuring work for her, introducing her to people that can employ her, and then negotiating her deals, and then dealing with whatever happens on while she is working, anything that arises that needs dealing with.
Did you ever, at any point in time, see Mr. Depp hit Ms. Heard?
No.
Were you working with Ms. Heard when she was cast in the original Aquaman?
She was cast in Justice League first, And then the deal was to be in Justice League, the first Aquaman and the second Aquaman.
Did you assist Ms. Heard in procuring the role of Mira in Aquaman?
Yes.
Was Aquaman a successful movie?
Extremely.
Was Ms. Heard's performance in the film well received critically?
Yes.
Were there any negative views about Ms. Heard's performance in Aquaman?
In the press, you mean? Or what do you
I
mean?
kind of like this bitch right here.
In the
Man.
press,
I ain't gonna lie.
No, there weren't any negative.
I kind of like her. Let me see what she got up her sleeve.
Did you attempt to renegotiate Ms. Heard's salary for Aquaman 2?
Yes.
When did you do that?
We did that around this time last year.
Why did you attempt to renegotiate it at all?
It's standard to renegotiate these types of deals. It's normal practice. When a movie, when Aquaman came out, it was the most successful movie of all time ever. So even more so for that reason. But for any successful franchise movie, when you make a 3 or 4 picture deal like we did in success, it's typical to go back and renegotiate the deal.
And now getting to your point, why did you choose to do it last year at this time?
Because that's when her option was exercised.
And when you did get around to trying to negotiate, you and WME successful in doing that?
Correct.
When did he call Warner Brothers to renegotiate the next film?
Get the likes up.
It would have been the end of February last year.
I kind of like this bitch, man. I can't front. I'm waiting for the negative.
What year is that? 2021?
Yes.
At some point, were there press reports that Ms. Heard was getting released from Aquaman 2?
There were online rumors for a while that she was being replaced.
When did you first hear about those?
First, I don't know exactly when, but it was way before. It was way before this. It was maybe even a year before this. 6 months before, maybe.
So nobody ever told you that Warner Brothers misrepresented the reason that they were replacing Ms. Heard, correct?
Why? No, why would they?
Did there come a time when
Get the lights to
Ms.
20
Heard
for a nigga.
was restored to her role in Aquaman 2?
Yes.
At that time, what were the terms of her restoration to Aquaman 2?
The financial terms?
Yes.
She was going to be making $2 million on the second film.
Was that consistent with the original contract?
Yes.
So the agent
Is this
get 10%
consistent
of
with
that.
what Warner Brothers
200,000
originally gave as the rationale for not using her in Aquaman 2?
The lack of chemistry between her and Jason?
Yes.
Yes.
So did there come a time when WME came to understand that
Jason rebuked that bitch.
Ms. Heard's
Lack of
role as
chemistry.
Mira in Aquaman 2 was diminished in some way?
Lack of
When
chemistry.
she was sent the script, she was sent the script directly, which is the common practice for these films.
You're aware
Her
that
hair
Ms.
is
Heard
bracken.
has a contract with L'Oreal.
Amber Harris bracken. I
Yes.
can't front, even though she shit on the bed.
When she signed that
It's the
contract,
type of bitch that is shit on your bed.
what's a bot?
Look at her. You would never think she would
bot
shit on your
is
bed, would
a
you?
fake account that's created.
You
to
wouldn't think that.
execute a certain objective.
What?
She consciously shitted on a nigga bed. That's the type
What
of
is your
bitch that is.
educational background
Right
since high
there.
school?
She thought it was funny.
What college did you
That
attend?
shit was funny to her.
NYU,
What year did you graduate?
2005.
What was your major?
Damn.
Communications.
When WME first began working with Ms. Heard,
She
as her
loses
talent
case, and he want
you
that
said
50.
she had some
Amber gonna be
success.
negative.
How well
Was that
known
negative
was Ms. Heard?
47.5?
She was pretty famous. She was within the industry. You could call anyone and they knew who she was. So she had a certain level of fame. She had starred in movies and shows already by that point.
Going back and taking a wider lens, over the time that the several years you've worked with Ms. Heard, how would you characterize the arc of her career?
I would say she was a known actress when I started working with her. Like I said, she was someone that you could call executives and producers and people about everyone, knew her name. She hadn't yet reached big star status, but she was definitely, she could get the lead of an independent movie. She could get the lead of a TV series. When I worked with her, we slowly started to strategically, have her work on some more prestigious projects and work with, better directors. And then when she got Justice League, that was a, turning point for her. And then Aquaman, subsequently, was obviously the biggest thing she had ever been a part of.
Keith, she ruined that bed. That bed got ruined, bro. That probably was like a luxury bed.
And is the arc of her career now on the upswing with her being part of Aquaman 2?
No.
Tell me what you mean. Why not?
Because typically, when you have an actor who is in a movie as successful as Aquaman was, their career totally changes, and they're in a different echelon. They, get way more offers. They're just put in a different place, position-wise with studios. They're more bankable, so they can greenlight projects. All of those kind of things are consistent with when you're in a blockbuster of that size. And with her, that did not happen. It happened, very significantly for her co-star. Obviously, he's the lead of the film and he's the title character, but even a small percentage of that did not happen for her. So that's my assessment.
What evidence sitting here today do you have that this caused her career any harm?
Because evidence in that, in my experience and the experience of my colleagues in the experience of this business, your career takes a turn after something like that. She was very well received in the movie at the time. Everyone was very happy with her at the time. There was no issues. And then to have a complete downturn after that, and then have that coincide with constant tweets and negativity put out about her. I don't have a physical piece of paper of evidence, but it's the only logical conclusion I can draw.
Can you name a single role she has lost as a result of any activity by Adam Waldman or anyone at his behest?
Okay.
There was a movie at Amazon that she had been offered with Gael Garcia Bernal. I don't know what the final title of it is called now. I can look it up. It had a working title at the time. That they took away from her. And, the lead actor who was a producer on it very much wanted it to be her and was very frustrated with the process. And no one can say out loud, we're taking this away from her because, of this bad press, because it's nothing she did, and it's all hearsay and it's all, whatever. But there's no other reason.
Now, Ms. Kovacevich, you've testified a bit about Adam Waldman, correct?
Correct.
And can you point us to any career opportunities that Ms. Heard has lost because of any statements made by Mr. Waldman?
I mean, the Amazon movie, for one, is one that is tangible, because that is an example of something that she had before all of it that was then taken away. I know that a campaign she shot for Todd's via Katie Slater was scrapped and not used. There was not another specific example because, like I said to you, no one is going to say to me, oh, we can't hire her because of these tweets or whatever. They just don't want to hire someone that has bad press around them from, these accusations calling.
She shitted in the bed. She did that. She did it. She did that.
No one wants that association with their project.
She did that.
And directing your attention 10 pages into the article, there's another quote from Mr. Waldman. Mr. Waldman states in this article,
she did that to herself, though.
Quote, quite simply,
and went to Coachella.
This was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt didn't do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their stories straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
It just shows the top part of that on this page, but the top part was correct.
Okay. Did any was WME aware of Adam's statement, Mr. Waldman's statements in this particular article?
Yes.
Now, you testified a little bit earlier about there being tweets from Adam. I assume you were referring to Adam Waldman. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what, if any, impact did it have on Amber Heard's career and career path to have Mr. Depp's lawyer putting out statements in the press and in tweets that Amber Heard was lying, making things up, creating a hoax of abuse?
I think that his comments spurred on, it just added fuel to the fire. So there was already so much media coverage.
And that's what you observed?
That's what I observed.
I'm going to take you to Aquaman, and I'll call it Aquaman 1 just to make it a little bit easier to understand. What, if any, performance issues were raised with Amber Heard by anyone that was responsible for the filming of Aquaman?
No performance issues raised whatsoever.
And what was your understanding of how Amber tested with the audiences in Aquaman?
My understanding was that she tested extremely well.
And this is an Aquaman has reflected all the markers of a very successful movie at this point?
Yes.
You testified earlier that it's quite typical when you have a series of 3 to 4 films in a franchise or a series to be able to renegotiate as you go into the sequels. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
Okay. And why is that?
Because you make the initial deals, before the movie has done, well. And then when the movie overperforms like that, it's a custom.
In light of the success of Aquaman, would you expect that Amber Heard would be receiving endorsements as of this time?
Yes.
And what is the typical process that happens after someone has starred in a very successful movie, such as Aquaman and Amber with Mira?
The endorsement department would, a combination of offers and then seeking out opportunities.
Now, given Amber's career trajectory leading up to and immediately after the success of Aquaman 1, did you expect her career to go on an upward, downward trajectory, or stay the same?
I expected an upward trajectory.
And why is that?
Because in success of a film like that, it's usually always the case.
And immediately after the successes of Aquaman, would you have expected Amber's annual earnings to increase, decrease, or stay the same compared to the previous 5 years?
I would have expected them to increase.
And why is that?
Because her profile had been raised internationally. She was in a movie that was successful worldwide, and when you are in a movie that performs that well worldwide, your bankability is stronger. You can finance an independent film more easily. You can greenlight a film more easily. You can just do more and for more money.
Do you recall what the budget was for Aquaman?
The first one, I don't know. It would have been probably somewhere between 150 and 200 million.
Immediately after the success of Aquaman, would you have expected Ms. Heard to continue to earn at least the fee she made on Aquaman on future big budget studio firms, or less or more?
That becomes an actor's quote, their fee.
Bargain market.
Yes, typically, like, you will then earn your, not on a tiny independent film, you couldn't make that much money on that, but another studio film, another film at a streamer or whatever, something like that, you would make that much or potentially get a raise.
Other than Aquaman 2, has Amber obtained any roles with a budget the size of Aquaman's?
No.
Has she been hired for any films with budgets over $100 million?
No.
Immediately after the success of Aquaman, would you expect the success of Aquaman and her starring role in that film to increase her ability to get more movie studios to be interested in her, decrease, or stay the same?
Increase.
And did it?
No.
Would you expect her to get more TV roles?
Objection.
Yeah. And why?
Why? Because I mentioned earlier in the conversation, TV and films are so blended now, and there's much less of a delineation between picking projects between film and TV.
And did Amber receive more TV roles as a result of Aquaman, the success of Aquaman?
No.
Immediately after the success of Aquaman, would you have expected Amber to star in more than one project per year, less, or the same?
It depends. If it was a big, Aquaman takes up 6 months of the year. Big movies take up longer time. Indies, you can do a couple of them a year. It just depends. So I wouldn't put a number on it, but definitely more than 0.
And has Amber starred in more than one project per year since then?
No.
Immediately after the success of Aquaman, did you expect Amber to earn between $5 and $10 million a year for the next 5 years?
I would have expected to renegotiate on Aquaman 2, most certainly. And so right there, that would have been significantly more. And she would have, yes, I would have expected her to earn more in a combination of TV, film, and more endorsements.
Was it your understanding that WME passed on to L'Oreal suggestions to assist them in being able to block some of the harassing Instagrams they were getting at that time?
Yes.
All right. Let's bring up 30 again, please. Now, did in fact L'Oreal suspend having Amber Heard on the International Women's Day campaign?
Yes.
What the conditions were for the renewal?
It was just essentially that they were renewing her. It was the same fee. That was the bulk of it. It wasn't, like a raise, but they were extending her.
Okay. And typically coming out of the success of Aquaman, would you have anticipated that Amber could have negotiated larger fees for commercial projects?
Yes, we would.
Okay, and why would that be?
Because her profile had been raised. She was, she had done something super successful. So typically that's what you would do. that would just be the standard practice.
When did you first learn about the change.org petition that was out there to try to get Amber Heard dropped from Aquaman 2?
I don't know when I first saw it.
Were you aware of it as of May 27, 2020?
Yes.
You earlier talked about bots in response to one of Mr. Chu's questions. What, if anything, was your understanding of these bots at this time, during this time frame?
My understanding is just based off my own, mainly based off my own research, just clicking on the accounts myself, and then discussing it amongst the team.
And what did you learn when you did that?
Just as I would go through, daily, just looking at comments or, just the negative comments, clicking on them. Many of them were just kind of accounts made for this kind of commentary, or just accounts that just had, no followers, no posts, nothing, or following just Amber and Johnny, things like that.
And I'm sorry. And so what did you learn from clicking onto those that led you to believe they were bots?
They weren't consistent with what I know to be actual Instagram accounts.
When you look to set a career trajectory for an actor who just broke out in a major franchise film, would you look to other comparable actors' careers to ascertain what type of acting jobs they could get?
I mean, I've been doing this job for, quite some time, so I don't necessarily look to one or the other, but in general, when someone is in, what was at the time the most successful film ever released, the natural progression is growth and more films, more work, more money, all of that stuff.
And when you say the most successful film ever, you're referring to Aquaman 1, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Are comparable actors' salaries used in your mind to ascertain the asking price for an actor in a similar film? Are comparable actors' salaries used in your mind to ascertain the asking price for an actor in a similar film?
Yes.
Would you consider Ana de Armas' career to be comparable to Amber's in measuring where Amber would have been after Aquaman 1? Should have been.
Ana de Armas, yes, I would say that would be a comparable, that would be a good comp.
Aquaman trending #1 now.
Yes, ma'am. Is that what you have for today?
That's it.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our day and the end of our week. So I want to make sure you have a good
we're not
3
going up
days.
tomorrow.
Come back for our last week of
We
testimony.
gotta wait till Monday?
And enjoy your weekend. I just want to remind you again of
We gotta
what
wait
we
till
need to
Monday?
remember as we go through the weekend, okay? So you're not to read anything about this case.
We
You're
gotta
not to
wait
watch
till
anything about this
Monday.
case. You're not to listen to anything about the case.
Damn.
This applies to television, newspapers, magazines, the internet, and any online
Aquaman
sites.
trending #1.
Further, you're not to read, watch, or listen to anything about this case on any social media networking site or streaming service. In addition, you must not communicate with anyone about the case, whether in person, over the phone, by email, text, or instant messaging, or by any other electronic or non-electronic means. This includes your fellow jurors, friends, family, co-workers, acquaintances,
Jason
and
Momoa
strangers.
said there's
I
no
also
lack,
instruct
there's
you that you
lack
cannot
of
do research or
chemistry.
make inquiries
I
about this case,
there's no
whether online
but
or by any other means. For example, you cannot look information up on the internet that is related to this case or related to the persons involved in this case, nor may you consult dictionaries or other reference materials. What you learn about this case is limited to what you learn in the four walls of this courtroom when proceedings are underway, all right? So enjoy your weekend. We'll see you early, 9 o'clock, ready to go Monday morning, okay? Thank you.
Jason Momoa said he didn't want her to be in it. That's the star. That's the one who made Aquaman go up. He didn't want her in it. He didn't want her in it, man. That's it. He didn't want her in it. He He didn't want her in it, man. Jason Momoa didn't want her in it because he felt he picked up. Jason Momoa picked up on the negative energy of the bitch and was like, I don't want her in it. We got to get a different mirror, or we got to tone down the mirror role. I didn't like working with her. I probably could have been a better Aquaman without her. The star gets to call a shot, though. Like, you know, the star calls the shot. The star calls the shot, guys. If the star don't want you in it, you're not in it. So that's what it is. Salute to the process, man. Aquaman is trending #1, and Jason Momoa is now trending because of them talking on this trial. Blessings. Hey, I appreciate everybody tapping in. Here you go. Mic check, yo. All right. I guess that's about it, huh? That concludes the festivities. How long was we going? Another 3 hours. Wow. 3 hours. Let me see. Well, I feel like Amber scored some points today. I ain't gonna even lie, man. Amber came in with the statistical analysis and the hair and shit. You know what I'm saying? She had her hair bracking. You know what I mean? What can we do? You know? Jason didn't want her in it, man. Jason's the star. 5 Snug Ways, what's up with it? Jason's the star. He didn't want her in it. He don't want her in it. But Amber came through today with the swirl it, with the braid, with the neck showing. You know what I'm talking about? She came through strong. She didn't back down. She's a strong bitch. The shit in the bed. But if you shit in the bed, if you shit in the bed, right? If you shit in the bed and you shit in the bed of the #1 celebrity in the world, the most famous actor in the world, Johnny Depp. You shit in the bed, and then he goes out and tells people that you shit in the bed, and the world finds out that you shit in the bed, you might not get no films. You feel me? You might not get no films in the future, bitch. It doesn't matter how good you was. And then the star of the film says, I didn't have no chemistry with this bitch. I don't want her around me. Let's get a new bitch in here. Then if I'm the producer of the film, if I have anything to do with the film, we're going to get a new bitch in there. Because Jason said he didn't like this bitch. Jason was like, I don't like this bitch. I don't like her. I heard she shit in the bed. And I fuck with Johnny Depp. I fuck with Jack Sparrow. And while I was working with this bitch, I noticed that she was shitty. Just like how she shit in the bed. So I don't want her in Aquaman 2 like that. Let's tone it down. Let's down the numbers. I don't want her in it like that. I'm not fucking with this bitch. You know what I'm talking about? I don't like her. But she's a beautiful bitch. She looked good today. Didn't she look good? You couldn't even imagine that bitch shit in the bed. Think about that. Man, y'all don't feel the Bossmack topsoil, man. The Bossmack topsoil is, I just gotta say, man, on some real shit. I just gotta say that, my position is like alpha masculinity is trending. What's going on? Why is that trending? And it's good. Alpha masculinity is a good thing. Really trending out there right now. But anyway, the Bossmack topsoil, man, these are my feelings, man. I'm the type of motherfucker that's like, a bitch could be beautiful. A bitch could be beautiful, magnificent. When you look at her, you could be like, oh my God, my heart is touched. She's beautiful. She's an angel of light. Look at that bitch. Her skin is so beautiful. She's so soft. Her features are so symmetrical. Her hair, her fingernails, her feet size, everything is beautiful. Look at this bitch. And that bitch do one foul thing that snapped me out of that. I hear some fucked up words out of bitch mouth. I see a fucked up face after some words was spoken. A bitch, you know what I'm saying? If I see some fucked up shit, if you understand me, I'm not giving passes. You feel me? What bitch? Say some crazy shit. A bitch could be beautiful. Say some brazy shit. What bitch? Oh yeah. Thank you for bringing me. Thank you for awakening. Thank you for awakening the Mac within, bitch. Bitch. Oh, thank you, bitch. What you just say, bitch? What? Get out. Get out the car, bitch. Go home. Let's date over. Whatever, bitch. It's over, bitch. Whatever we was doing, we finished. It's done, bitch. A bitch shit in the bed, bitch. Bitch. It would be impossible for my dick to get hard for a bitch ever again in life. You understand me? If I heard about that shit, if I was like Jason, I would be like, what? She shit in the bed? I knew it was. I felt that bullshit when I was fucking with her. Hell yeah, bitch. We done, bitch. Bitch, we done. Bitch, you ain't in the movie no more, bitch. But anyway, man, that's my rant summation, man. Nigga, I ain't gonna lie, man. Nigga probably come back and have to do another podcast tonight, man. Might do another one tonight. I don't know. But I'm gonna end it off right here, man. I did a little 3 hours, man. We gotta end it out. 3 hours of streaming, man. Shit is, you know, we got to do some Bossmack streetwear right now. Blessings. That's the wrong thing. Shit. The outro. I got to eliminate all the streaming mistakes I'm making. I'll just keep on making streaming mistakes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out. The Top Mac Nigga Show is a Bossmack Industries production.